Good stuff here on Girl Talk.
That's right, I have a line.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'm like, lift and separate.
Bring me spot.
Much better than this, right? This just in.
Literally doing like the robot. It's like
Comical toys. Welcome to Girl Talk. We're filming today at William Thomas Custom Design Jewelers, and this is on University Avenue, sort of by the hospitals, just down the street from Whole Foods. Later on, we'll meet with Bill, he's the owner, to talk about the custom work he does, the custom experience you'll have, and so much more. Right now, though, you'll be inspired by Laura Gallagher. She is the president, CEO, and founder of The Creative Company. The Creative Company is a marketing and public relations firm, so if you're a business owner or thinking of, prepare to be inspired. Thanks for coming on the show, Laura.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so today you wanted to talk about why reading books can be a game changer for yourself and your business. Why is this so important to you?
Well, when I was a girl, that was where I found my inspiration. I spent a lot of time at the library reading, and throughout my life, being a reader has also meant I've been a great learner, which has literally changed the trajectory of my life. Because every time I didn't know something, I went to a book. And now, of course, we have YouTube and we have online courses and we have all kinds of things, podcasts and so on, so you can consume information literally around the clock if you want to. But in my case, I started with books at the library. The example that I would first give was in the 7th grade when I wanted to be a cheerleader but had never been to a basketball game before, right? Which is kind of limiting, right? And so I went to the library and found out.
Got a book.
I got a book on how to become how to be a cheerleader, and then I tried out and I got it, and so that was
Good job.
Yeah, that was sort of my aha moment that this is an important link. Learning can take you to new experiences and new places. Then years later, I was thinking about what I wanted to do for a career, and I read Richard Bull's "What Color's Your Parachute?" about what my natural gifting was. And I was already majoring in business management and marketing, but it looked like PR would be my natural gifting. And so in the book, he said, volunteer. So I volunteered for the Madison Children's Museum and Special Olympics. I did it for free for a year. Eventually landed a job in public relations, and then started my business. This is another opportunity for books to come into the story. When I started my business, or when I thought about starting my business, the first thing I did was that I went to the Madison Public Library and I got 21 books, filled up 3 backpacks. I'm a 21-year-old senior in college, on how to start and run a business. And then I just dove into them, and I still do that.
You know what this says is, it really speaks to your independence, too. You're not going and talking to a bunch of people, how do you do it, how did you do it? Right. It's, I'm going to figure this out for myself.
That's true. It's really interesting.
Very independent.
I love that. You're all woman, you're doing your own thing, and we were talking earlier because with your book and everything, you discussed how you had to learn about the marketing with radio and TV, but you yourself dove into books to learn how to do all that. So I think that's awesome. So what are some recent books that you've read?
Well, recently, first of all, I'm going to start with maybe one of my favorite books recently, and it's this one, What to Do When It's Your Turn, and it's really about how it's always your turn.
I see that on the cover. That's neat. It's always your turn.
It's always your turn. So step up and do something. It's written by Seth Godin, one of my favorite authors. He also helped me actually in an indirect way with my own book. But I love this book too because it's so beautifully designed. And it's simple to digest. In our world now, we tend to do things in sound bites and quick bites, and we don't have time to necessarily sit down and read. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Although I did read this within the last 12 months too, just because I never read one of her books, and I felt like it was an important one to read. Currently, I'm reading Everybody Always by Bob Goff, and it's really about becoming love in the world and just sort of just grooving on life, right? And really seeing sort of the magic in every single person that you see, and being curious about the world that we live in. That one's really fun. I've got some different business books and things that I'm reading. Within the last year, I also read The Screwtape Letters, which is sort of a fantasy book about heaven and hell. By
C.S.
C.S.
Lewis.
Yeah. And I actually dove, it's interesting how one book leads you to a bunch of other books. So then I'm like, oh, I want to read more C.S. Lewis. And I'd had this one on my shelf for a long time, but hadn't read it. Of course,
I've got a few of those.
Yeah, we all do, right? Malcolm Gladwell has a great book called Outliers, which is the story of success and how people achieve it. And this one right now is also one of my favorites, Principles, by Ray Dalio. And of course, you aren't going to read this in one sitting, right? But again, it's short stories about key principles for life and living that can be a real game changer.
That's helpful, especially when you're trying to read at night and you can only handle so much before you're dozing off, right? I love that style.
Right, or first thing in the morning, whatever it is, right?
I just love how books take you to another place. It can take you out of your reality and just enjoy, let go of your stress. And
Yeah, earlier you said books can take you anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
You did say that, and you wrote a book, and you're a published author.
Where's that one?
It's right here.
Oh, you got it.
And what advice do you have for would-be authors?
Well, I think that just begin. That would be my first. Just start writing and learn as much as you can about writing. I went to Princeton Seminary last summer and spent a week with other great writers and teachers. So I do sometimes go and immerse myself with people who have done it. But just begin. Just start down that path and take that first step. And eventually, if you keep making steps in that direction, you're going to have a book. I became an accidental author with that particular book. But it was a good practice, good way to get started.
Oh, we're out of time, Laura. Always wish we had more time with you. I feel like this should be called Laura's Book Club. Laura Gallagher is owner of the creative company. Thanks so much, Laura.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.